The National Assembly on Wednesday evening saw the decimation of decency, dignity, and integrity. DPI took its cameras through the streets of Georgetown to find out people's thoughts on what transpired.
Well, as a young man, having participated in youth parliament as well, I would consider yesterday's events to be very unfortunate. I've heard persons defending it, saying that it was done previously, but defending a wrong with another wrong doesn't make much sense to me. I believe that our parliament deserves a higher level of decorum and respect. So as of now, I still don't know what exactly are the opposition's opposition to the actual bill. We've heard them say that it's a thieving bill and all this stuff, but I wanted to hear sound, solid arguments dismantling the bill, and I think that would have been more effective. So I would only hope that going forward that our parliament is not desecrated and made into a circus like it was last night.
Well, I believe that it's a very unfortunate event that took place in Parliament. I don't think that that should have happened, considering the fact that we're dealing with the leaders of the country who should be operating in a much more respectable manner. I believe the opposition could have brought their point in a better way and sought other avenues to deal with the issue other than running around like you're crazy and, yeah.
I thought the activities that happened last night, I thought it was very unattractive, very displeasing towards the eye of the public. I think you got young children watching and viewing and seeing how adults must operate, I thought it was very unattractive. I think there are a number of ways that both parties can sit together and really come together and get this stuff resolved. You look at all the other countries around the world, all the other high-power countries. I mean, Guyana is slowly progressing to be one of the top countries within the Southern Hemisphere, you should say, for now. And I think we need to set an example.
It was really shameful and disgraceful. We're living in a time where everybody should be tolerant and accepting of each other. The opposition needs to act maturely, and they should have presented their arguments rather than blowing whistles and behaving disgraceful and shameful. I mean, the whole world is looking at us. The government has been trying, and they have kept extending a hand towards the opposition, but the opposition is just continuously behaving immature. So in order to work together, the opposition needs to understand and explain themselves more properly. I mean, had they explained what their points were last night, it would have been different rather than behaving like hooligans.
Plenty other ways. After all war, you have to go down back to the table and talk, So if it makes sense you fight and you make war, you have to sit down on the table and talk back. So that's about the best way you could go.
I honestly believe that the whole entire thing was a bit inappropriate and to some extent childish. I honestly just was hoping that these guys could work together in unity to basically improve the country.
I think that it was uncalled for. As leaders of the country, it should have been dealt better because we as citizens look up to these people and think that these people would deal with the matters like these better. And I feel as though that they should have done it in a better way than to have all of that being portrayed on camera and to not just the public but to persons outside of the country.
We have seen similar behavior in the past, but now they try to steal the mace of the speaker. That is to run away with the authority from Parliament. And that is by itself so highly unusual and I would say criminal, because that ought not to be. The House should be respected. The Speaker should be respected.
As those bills were being passed in the National Assembly yesterday and I was looking on last night, I must say as a young person I was disappointed. I was disappointed because I would say when you are about to pass bills with such significance in the National Assembly, you would expect that the government as well as the opposition brings their A game. You would expect as a person, as an electorate voting for your elected representatives, you would expect that your representatives bring the best possible game to the National Assembly. And when you look at the charade that took place, for me it was disappointing, regardless of whichever side of the fence you sit. For me, an opposition is not just there to oppose everything. An opposition is there to critically examine bills, to dissect it, to identify the good as well as the bad, and to work with the government to fix the bad. It's important that we do this, and it's important that we have an opposition that is actively and meaningfully involved in the dissection of these bills.
Well, what they are doing is wrong. And they want to show the people them that they can't do better. So who can do better, they mustn't do better. No one would like to come to invest in these kind of conditions. Because when these things happen, there is no way you could get people would come and purchase things.
Ministers of government as well as members of the private sector have condemned the act as they say it is one of total vulgarity.